It is, in my opinion, that this movie should be mandatory viewing. It should be mandatory viewing for in all schools across the nation, along with Grave of the Fireflies and Shin Godzilla, Barefoot Gen 1 and 2, and the newest Godzilla Minus 1, as a way of anti-nuclear commentary. As I am recording this, there have been attacks on an Iran missile base by America, and I think it is, in my opinion, that we need to show what happens with nuclear weapons and atomic weapons, what the consequences can be. And Godzilla 1954 Gojira is the one that should be shown, because it is a very powerful, haunting movie. There's just no other way to describe it besides country responding to when it had Fat Man and Little Boy dropped in August 5th, what was that? August 1945. And, obviously, post-war occupation with MacArthur and everything else, and this came out, and it's a powerful, powerful movie. It's not fun. It's not comical. It's a dead serious commentary on the nature of war, what the results are, the consequences of it, and how one can, how people would react to it, a country being unified over something so extreme. So, there's the Lucky Dragon number 5, a ship that gets attacked by something. We're not sure what it is. And there's some houses that are destroyed, some people that are missing, and livestock. And there's a meeting going on with some of the top experts to determine what's going on. All the meanwhile, there's a paleontologist who's explaining what's going on, like a dinosaur, and a festival that's the only remaining tribute to keeping this giant monster at bay from attacking with no masks, N-O-H, I believe, one of the long noses, which fits in with the stuff that was going on, keeping some of the old traditions alive, and countries attempt to defeat this 185 foot tall symbol of destruction. And obviously they try using conventional weaponry and everything else, and all the meantime it's not working. But there's a scientist with an eye patch who's named Sarazawa, who created the Oxygen destroyer, and he may have the key to and this may be the only device that can eliminate this Godzilla compared to all the others that would be released, would come later. And as I'm watching it, I'm just I just forgot how tonally dark this movie is, So we get some the characters here do stand out. One, they get this girl Emiko, said to be married to, I think, the brother Sarazawa or something like that. I forgot. I mean, it's they're there. It's you're there to see them get the dialogue across, and how they're conflicted about that. Definitely the actor playing Sarazawa is good, because he's I should not have invented the dang thing. He is forced to make some choices he doesn't want to. He's very reluctant to even tell anyone about it. So we get a lot of great discussions going on of what, the nature of nuclear weapons and how it can be taken and fall, if it's fallen on the wrong hands, the imminent destruction that would occur, and lives just ruined, and they feel conflicted and everything else. Granted, this is 1950s style of acting and understanding of weapons compared to nowadays, so that's something that I know. So I'm like, yes, that was something I kept in mind. But you know, like when Haru Nakajima was portraying the Godzilla character, I mean, that he's pretty much invincible. You know, was able to hold a bus in his maw, you know, his mouth. Um, they tried erecting 165. It was 118 tall, 165-foot deep power lines with 50,000 volts. That does nothing to stop him. If anything, that just make him a little stronger. He just tears through it. No dang problem. You know, they try launching all the missiles at him. And this is where, not Shiro Honda, but this is where we get to see Isao Takahara's like special effects expertise coming. You know, like obviously you can tell like when there's a miniature going on, but also having like all the timed explosives when the buildings collapse and having all the missiles being launched and everything else. I mean, this is like special effects du jour that works really well here. I mean, definitely with the standouts being, you know, at the power lines, when they're launching all the missiles and showing like when the fish that is inside Serizawa's aquarium, when we get like a glimpse of what's going on. I mean, yeah, this is definitely some good stuff right here. But of course, the big point is the man in the costume. Is Haru Nakajima will go to the zoo and study like the gait. You know how a person walks. Of elephants and bears, you have a sense of weight and everything. So yeah, there's this personality that's about him. Just you feel sympathetic around because he got awoken by a dang bomb. So as I'm watching, I'm just thinking, yeah, it's a character that's got acting more feral and taking influence from the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms and King Kong, of course. So as you know, as I'm watching this, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, this is a 220-pound suit that was made with rubber cement because latex, I think, was kind of rare in Japan, something like that. So they had to construct that. But they didn't think about how the actor, like how Nakajima would have to walk. So poor guy, his head's in the neck right there. He's able to see a little bit, but because this was like brand new at the time, and they're going to do stop motion, they realized it would have been too expensive to have all these miniatures, and the explosions wouldn't look as effective as they would. They ultimately said, okay, we'll do it for a couple of swipes of the tail and maybe like a couple of buildings exploding, but that's about it. So yeah, they were truly making it up as they went along, pioneering new techniques and things. I think even they stayed in Honda and whoever the script writer was stayed in a hotel. I think they worked on it for like what, roughly a weekend or 20 days storyboarding. And yeah, it's pretty intense stuff. This was a self-contained story. You know, it's like at the end, Serizawa decides to krill himself underwater so that way no one would be able to discover what made the oxygen destroyer work. You know, it's like he's underneath of the suit and takes a knife, cuts off his air supply. And I'm like, yeah, that's so. You know, you have the characters' conflicts and motivations and everything else. You have the freaking legendary suit, the special effects. Personally, a scene for me that stood out was a mother and a daughter were crying, just like, "Don't worry, honey, we'll see Daddy soon. We'll be up there with him." And there's the trio there in like a Serizawa trying to convince them. Lo and behold, there's a bunch of girls and women that are singing a song about like for hope, you know. And you can look it up on YouTube, and it's haunting. It's lyrical and it's haunting, and it's just convinces the heroes to make it happen. So, damn, super effective. You know, maybe some of the effects may be a little outdated nowadays, and the acting isn't like that great, but then again, given everything else, that's extremely minor. What would I change about it? Again, maybe having some, well, like, in pop-up video, how they'll have like the little um giving some background info. That's what I would do. Like, explain what the Omo divers are. Pearl, which means translated means sea woman or sea lady. I would go down and get some pearls for jewelry and stuff like that. This was seen, I think, in the fifth James Bond movie, but just to give a little bit more information on what's going on that the average viewer may not know or may not have access to the Criterion notes. That's what I would do. And I mean, that's pretty much what I would do. But yeah, with all that being said, I will say this should be mandatory viewing for all politicians as well. Make them watch the Japanese language along with those other movies I watched. Do not trust what any politician says about like nuclear weapons. Listen to the only country that suffered through this, their reactions to it, and then see all the stupidity that a politician says about weapons like that. So yeah, pretty much mandatory viewing. Watch the original Gojira.